The call came while I was in the middle of a meeting I didn't care about. Unknown number, local area code. I almost let it go to voicemail. Almost. Is this Rachel Bennett? A woman's voice. Professional, controlled. The kind of controlled that means something has already gone very, very wrong. Yes. This is Nurse Patterson at Memorial Hospital. Your daughter Lily has been admitted. She's stable, but you need to come immediately. The word stable hit me wrong, like someone saying a building is mostly not on fire. What happened? My voice came out steady. Years of working as a paralegal taught me that panic doesn't get answers. Calm does. A police officer will explain when you arrive. The vehicle involved is registered to your name. My vehicle. My stomach dropped. I'm on my way. I grabbed my bag, told my boss there was an emergency, and was out the door before he could respond. In the parking garage, I ran to my usual spot. Empty. Of course. I'd loaned my car to my mother this morning. She'd called early, voice bright and easy. Can we borrow your car today? Ours is acting up, and we're taking the kids to the park. Lily's coming, too. I'd said yes without thinking because that's what I always did. I pulled out my phone, ordered a ride share, and paced the concrete like a caged animal while the app cheerfully told me my driver was 4 minutes away. 4 minutes felt like 4 years. When the car finally pulled up, I threw myself into the back seat. Memorial Hospital. Please hurry. The driver nodded and merged into traffic at the exact speed limit. Because the universe has a sense of humor. I tried calling my mother. No answer. I tried my father. Nothing. I tried my sister Vanessa. Straight to voicemail. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. The hospital smelled like antiseptic and fear. I told the front desk my name. They looked at me with that specific kind of pity that makes your chest tighten. Room 314, 3rd floor. I didn't wait for the elevator. I took the stairs 2 at a time. When I got to the room, a police officer was standing outside the door. He looked up as I approached, and his expression shifted. Recognition maybe, or sympathy. Ms. Bennett. Yes. Where's my daughter? She's inside. She's okay. He paused. But I need to ask you a few questions first. I wanted to shove past him. I wanted to scream. Instead, I forced myself to breathe. What happened? He pulled out a small notebook. Your daughter was found locked inside a vehicle in a shopping center parking lot. A bystander noticed her knocking on the window and called 911. The floor tilted. How long was she in there? We're still determining that. Based on witness statements and the conditions she was in. At least 3 hours. 3 hours in a car in this heat. My vision blurred at the edges. Who was she with? The officer glanced down at his notes. The vehicle is registered to you, but according to your daughter, she was with her grandparents and aunt. My mother, my father, Vanessa. Where are they now? We're trying to locate them. I didn't wait for permission. I pushed past him into the room. Lily was sitting up in the hospital bed holding a juice box with both hands like it was the only solid thing in the world. Her face was flushed. Her hair was damp with sweat. Her eyes were red and swollen. When she saw me, her face crumpled. Mommy. I was across the room into steps, wrapping my arms around her, feeling how small she was, how tightly she clung to me. She shook like she'd been running for miles. I'm here, I whispered into her hair. I'm here. You're safe. She creaked into my shoulder. Quiet, hiccuping sobs that broke something inside me. A nurse stepped into the room, gave us a moment, then spoke gently. Miss Bennett, I need to explain what happened. I nodded, still holding Lily. The nurse's voice stayed calm, clinical. Lily was brought in by paramedics approximately 2 hours ago. A bystander saw her in a parked vehicle, visibly distressed, and called for help. When first responders arrived, the car was locked. The windows were up. The temperature inside the vehicle was estimated at over 120. My stomach turned. She was conscious, but severely overheated. We've been monitoring her and rehydrating her. Physically, she's going to be okay. Physically. That word hung in the air like a warning. Lily's fingers curled tighter into my shirt. How long was she in there? I asked again, even though I already knew I wouldn't like the answer. Based on witness reports and the timeline we've pieced together, over 3 hours. 3 hours alone in a locked car in 95 heat. I felt my hands start to shake again and force them to stop. Did she say why she was left there? The nurse hesitated. She said her grandmother told her to wait in the car, that they'd be back soon. Lily's voice came out small and muffled against my shoulder. I waited, Mommy. I waited like they said. I held her tighter and tried to keep my voice steady. You did everything right, baby. This isn't your fault. The nurse stepped back. The police will want to speak with you. And because of the circumstances, we had to file a report with Child Protective Services. That's standard procedure. I nodded numbly. After the nurse left, I sat on the edge of the bed and let Lily hold on to me like I was the only thing keeping her from floating away. My phone rang. Mom. I pulled away from Lily gently and stepped into the hallway. I answered without saying hello. Where is she? My mother's voice came through bright and casual. We're back at the car and she's not here. For a second, I couldn't speak. She's in the hospital. Silence. Then what? Lily is in the hospital. I repeated, each word slow and deliberate. Someone found her locked in my car and called 911. Clear's throat. That's not possible. How long did you leave her there? We didn't leave her, my mother said, voice sharpening. She was being difficult. We told her to wait in the car while we went inside. For 3 hours. It wasn't 3 hours. The police said over 3 hours, Mom. Another pause. Well, she's fine, isn't she? I mean, nothing actually happened. I closed my eyes. Nothing happened because a stranger saw her and called for help. Not you, not Dad, not Vanessa. A stranger. Rachel, don't be dramatic. She almost died. My mother's voice turned cold. Don't say that. Don't be hysterical. We left the windows cracked. We parked in the shade. It was 95. She was fine. That word again, fine. Like it erased everything. Where are you now? I asked. At the mall. We came back to get her and the car was gone. We thought Simeon stole it. I laughed. It came out sharp and bitter. The police had it towed, and now they're looking for you. Silence. Rachel, you need to tell them this was a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding. Yes, tell them you were there. It's your car. It makes more sense. My blood went cold. You want me to lie? I want you to protect this family. My mother snapped. Vanessa is trying to get certified as a daycare provider. Do you know what something like this could do to her record? I stared at the wall trying to process what I was hearing. You left my daughter in a car for 3 hours in the heat and now you want me to take the blame. So Vanessa's career doesn't get affected. Don't twist my words. I'm not twisting anything. I'm repeating exactly what you said. My mother's voice dropped. Dangerous and final. If you go through with this, if you let them blame us, you are not my daughter anymore. The line went dead. I stood there in the hospital hallway, phone still pressed to my ear, listening to nothing. When I went back into the room, Lily looked up at me with those big scared eyes. Are Grandma and Grandpa mad at me? I knelt down in front of her and took her hands. No, baby. They're not mad at you. Clears throat, and you didn't do anything wrong. But I was bad. No. I said it firmly. You were not bad. What happened to you was bad. That's not the same thing. She nodded, but I could tell she didn't believe me yet. That night, after we got home, after Lily finally fell asleep, clutching her stuffed rabbit, I sat at the kitchen table and stared at my phone. I thought about my mother's ultimatum. You are not my daughter anymore. And I realized something. She was right. I wasn't her daughter. Not anymore, because a daughter would protect her mother. But a mother protects her child, and I knew which one I was. The next morning, I called a lawyer. Her name was Patricia Chen, and she listened without interrupting as I explained everything. When I finished, she was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "Save everything. Texts, calls, anything that shows who is responsible. I will. And Rachel, you're doing the right thing." I wasn't sure I believed her yet, but I was going to find out. I started with my phone, screenshots of every text message. Can we borrow your car? We're taking the kids to the park. We'll have her back by dinner. Then I checked social media. Vanessa had posted photos from the mall, smiling, shopping bags, location tags with timestamps. My mother had shared them. Great day with the grandkids. Lily wasn't in a single photo, not one. I saved everything. The police called later that day to schedule a formal statement. I went in the next morning. Officer Martinez met me in a small beige room with a recording device on the table. "This will be recorded," he said. "Take your time." I told him everything. Where I was, who had Lily, why they had my car. I showed him the messages, the photos, the timestamps. When I got to the part about my mother's phone call, the demand that I take responsibility, the threat, his pen slowed. She said if you didn't lie, you weren't her daughter anymore. Yes, he wrote that down. Miss Bennett, I want to be clear. You're not protecting them. I'm not, I said. I want accountability. He nodded. We'll be in touch. 3 days later, my doorbell rang. I knew who it was before I looked through the peephole. Mom, Dad, Vanessa, all standing there like this was an intervention, and I was the problem. I opened the door, but didn't invite them in. We need to talk, my mother said. No, we don't. Rachel, please. You left my daughter in a car for 3 hours in the heat, and then you asked me to lie about it. My father finally spoke, voice tired. We made a mistake. A mistake is forgetting to turn off the stove. I said this was a choice. Vanessa crossed her arms. You're really going to ruin my life over this. I looked at her, really looked at her, and felt something settle inside me. I'm not ruining your life. I'm protecting my daughter. My mother's eyes filled with tears. We're family. I know, I said. That's what makes this so much worse. I closed the door. Not a slam, just a quiet final click. 2 months later, the consequences came through. Criminal charges, child endangerment, no jail time, but probation, fines, mandatory parenting courses, and permanent records. Vanessa's daycare certification was denied permanently. My parents' names were flagged in the state database. They'd never be allowed unsupervised access to minors again. I didn't hear any of this from them. We've been no contact since that day at my door. Lily sleeps through the night now. She laughs easily again. She stopped flinching every time I leave the room. In therapy, when asked what makes her feel safe, she said, "My mom always comes back." And that was enough. So tell me, did I go too far by pressing charges, or did I finally go far enough? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more stories where protecting your child comes before keeping toxic family comfortable, hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.